The Baltimore Ravens have already drafted Teddy Buchanan today, but let's react to their next pick. This is my instant reaction. I do it for all the picks. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit late on this one. I was at a soccer game, but now I'm catching up. So, check for the next one. It'll probably be out in about 5 to 10 minutes after this one is uploaded. Just posted the Teddy Buchanan one. But this time I'm just looking on ESPN because I'm not watching the entire draft until I catch up. I think we're just starting the 6th round probably about right now. So hopefully I can catch up before the 6th round picks. But I'm just going to start scrolling through because I believe I heard we traded back out of the 4th round. And it does look like we did. Okay. Shout out to Alec Ironmaner, went 136 to Tennessee. Really cool right there. But looking into the 5th round, wow. Okay. Wow. We picked very early in the 5th round. Pick 141. The Baltimore Ravens have selected Carson Vinson out of Alabama A&M, a really big, really physical offensive tackle. Obviously coming from a much smaller school. But I think this is a terrific pick. This is something that the Baltimore Ravens were looking for. They want to draft offensive linemen. They want to get guys that can definitely play multiple positions. I think he does have the chance to potentially compete at that guard spot, just like with Emory Jones Jr., but he does have the size to be able to potentially develop into a tackle as well. He is 6'7", he's 314 pounds. Don't see that 6'7" and just instantly think, oh, it's like Daniel Faalele, who's 6'8", and just think, oh, he can't move at all. He's much more athletic than Daniel Faalele. I mean, he's about 65 pounds lighter than Daniel Faalele. But he can move. He can move. He can maul guys in the run game. He can be a good pass blocker. Obviously, playing at Alabama A&M, this is not something that he wasn't going against NFL talent every single day. So it might take him a little bit of a time to adjust to the NFL caliber, of competition, the NFL strength, the NFL speed, the stunts, the more difficult concepts. But again, this is someone that you could absolutely develop into a really good offensive lineman. And I know a lot of people that in live streams and mock drafts and comment sections, and people were upset with our 3rd round pick taking Emory Jones Jr. And a lot of people are like, dude, man, Charles Grant, though, because Charles Grant was kind of a fan favorite, right, out of William and Mary. And not a lot of people talked about Carson Vinson. Carson Vinson, very similar to Charles Grant in just the sense that both dominated lower level competition. Carson Vinson, though, a little bit bigger. A lot of people are thinking Charles Grant might have to transition to guard, but I think Carson Vinson, they probably want him to become a tackle. However, again, at worst, transition him to guard, test him out, have him contend, have him compete for those spots. I don't expect him to be an instant playmaker. I think Emory Jones is more play ready than he is, but that doesn't mean it's not a good pick. That means it certifies depth. He has tackle experience. So, having a backup at tackle, having a backup potentially at guard as we try and maybe work on his guard sets and things like that on both the left and the right side. I think this is a really good pick. I think the Ravens love to develop their offensive linemen. I think they do a great job at doing so. I know a lot of people will look at Faalele and say, yeah, but he's not that good, and he was the developmental guy. Faalele is drastically better than when he first came into the league. He's not at the level that Ravens fans were wanting, but he was still drastically better. His limitations was something that the Ravens were unable to fix. You can't fix how quick someone is, how fast someone is when they're 6'8", 375 pounds. Carson Vinson has the athleticism. He has the intangibles in terms of size and strength. Now it's time to work on that technique, get him, helping out the Ravens offensive line from a depth perspective, as well as potentially a swing tackle with that athleticism, get, 6'7", 314 pounds moving across the offensive line and, open up some more holes with Derrick Henry and Patrick Ricard and the rest of that really big offensive line that we do have. So Carson Vinson, Alabama A&M, welcome to the team. Really big fan of this pick. This was a guy that I did like mocking to the Baltimore Ravens, and I talked about him all the time. Very excited for this one. Let me know in the comment section down below your guys' thoughts, your opinions on the pick. I apologize if I'm talking a little bit too fast, just trying to catch up to with the live draft. But again, like I said, really like the pick. Subscribe for more. Next video, I think the Ravens have made their next pick. The next video should be out maybe about 10 minutes. Thank you all so much. See all of you again then. And let me know your thoughts on the Ravens draft so far. I'm pretty happy with it.